It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is RubbinMinds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obi-Uchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. Happy Eid al-Fitr to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. We're celebrating the end of Ramadan. It's been a very long month, very unusual Ramadan as well, considering the circumstances around the world this time. And of course, Salah has been celebrated, but probably in a muted way, considering that people are not supposed to be seen to celebrate anything these days, or if you celebrate in very small numbers with family or with technology now, which is what a lot of people are starting to do. So there's a lot, of course, still happening with regards to COVID-19. The numbers across the country are continuing to rise. We've crossed the 7,000 mark with regards to number of infections across Nigeria. Lagos still continues to lead the numbers, and but government seems to, at this point, not want to go back to the lockdown state of things. There's now more emphasis on sort of controlling or giving people responsibility to care for themselves. And we'll be touching on that a little later to see how effective that will be in the long run. Of course, businesses are also still affected. Many of them are still not open yet. There's those who are probably never going to open again, considering the loss of revenue that's come with these last couple of months and the lockdown and just the lack of business activity. We're going to be starting off talk, with Ramadan and, of course, the unusual Eid celebrations today. And I'm joined now by Antolecky, who I want to believe is celebrating in her own way, hopefully at home. Anto, can you hear me? How are you doing?
Yes, I can hear you, Ebuka. Hi.
Happy Eid al-Fitr. How are you celebrating, considering that times are a little stranger than normal?
It is pretty strange. Even for me, it's, at least on this day, this is the day you'll go and see your family members. You probably would have traveled to the village maybe a few days prior to, but I've been in Lecky ever since, and I'm not leaving anytime soon. So yes, it's definitely pretty strange, but I think, this is a prayerful time, so Muslims are just continuing to stay in prayer and just hoping for the best and hoping that soon this entire COVID-19 situation will be over and we can get back outside.
I mean, Ramadan, the month of Ramadan is usually a time for sober reflection. It is just sort of trying to get reborn, especially spiritually. So some might argue that with the circumstances that we found ourselves in the last month plus, it was probably for the good because, you had no other option but to sit and reflect. How different was it with Ramadan this time?
For me, I think it was a little bit easier because I had less distractions. When you're outside with your friends and they're eating and they're talking about whatever is when you kind of want to eat as well. But when you're at home and you haven't started cooking dinner, you don't really have to worry about eating. So for me, it was a little bit easier. But I do think that for other people who are used to going outside and dealing with people, interacting with people, it's definitely difficult because you're used to blending in Ramadan with your daily activities. But this time, there are really no daily activities. We're indoors.
I want to talk about giving because it's also a huge part of Ramadan, and that involves, interacting with the poor or the needy, people around you who deserve, to be given or be helped. How did that work out this time, considering that, contact is almost completely discouraged by government, everybody knows that right now. It's one thing you shouldn't be doing is touching anyone. So how was the giving side of things? How did that work with a lot of people in the month of Ramadan?
Yes. For me, luckily, we have Instagram and we have Twitter and we have platforms where people can just promote whatever kind of foundation they're supporting, and you can just use your wonderful banking apps and send money across. So for me, this time, it was easier for me. I just sent money to various foundations. Anytime I saw like a post of a foundation asking for money, I just sent money. That was the easiest way for me to help. And I also was able to send money to my village. I realized that during this COVID-19, while the rest of us are kind of indoors, other people are not exactly indoors. So I was able to send down money to my village, and they were able to organize some, some stimulus packages. But of course, I reminded them to try their best to do social distancing. But it's kind of scary because they're really not doing it. So it just made you realize that was definitely an added prayer during Ramadan. Of course, you pray for your family, your friends, yourself, your colleagues, whomever. But I definitely prayed for the world because we're definitely in some tough times right now.
And most importantly, I believe, is the shutdown of the mosques.
Yeah.
it would be unthinkable in the past to say you go through Ramadan and you didn't go to the mosque for once. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
Christians found it very particularly hard during Lent as well, leading up to Easter, and it was a very strange time. How hard was it, and how were people able to still stay spiritual through that?
I think it's just a reminder, especially this time. I think for me, this Ramadan was more special because it's a reminder that your religion is yours. Our religious buildings are just buildings, that you can still practice your religion from the comfort of your home. So, of course, there's some people who are used to praying in the mosque. Some people spend the last 10 days in the mosque. But I think that as long as you're a believer, no matter where you're saying that prayer, it will truly be answered.
So, how are you celebrating today? I know you mentioned that earlier. Is technology playing a part in all of the? I know Zoom, House Party, all of these apps have become very popular. Is it something you're exploring? Is it something that does it make you feel a little easier using those?
Definitely. There's more phone. I think this time I've received way more phone calls. More people that I probably wouldn't have even talked to before. They're kind of reaching out more because everyone is just in this time of knowing that we need more support. So, of course, we're doing more phone calls, more video calls. For me, I'm at home, so I'm cooking. I'm also ordering food. So I'm just going to have my own Eid feast to myself.
So, all of the, I know this is not the Salah where the ram is killed, I believe. Even though we never seem to know which one it is, because every time we ask for a ram, they say it's not the Salah. But you said you're going to have a feast unto yourself. I mean, people are going to probably, have massive feasts. And I also just kind of wonder, how is the sharing side of things going to work? I know a lot of people are going to deliver stuff and all, but are you looking at that as also a hindrance to celebrating, maybe?
Of course, because you definitely expect, to visit people. Most Eids, you'd at least visit someone, and then along your way, you probably would have given some, tokens of food or what have you to people along the road. So I know there's definitely people who will be missing out on that experience, that feeling of, giving. But I think everyone should just try that you can give without being physical. Of course, there's ways to donate. And it's just, I think the best kind of charity is your kindness, your prayers. So you don't always have to give a physical gift. I think just being a good person and praying for people is a great gift as well.
And on a final note now, what's the big lesson you probably learned this time? I mean, when you fast, when you go through a spiritual journey, there's always a lesson. But this one has to be different, isn't it?
It is. It's very different. Usually during pandemics, they don't really reach you. They don't feel so close to home. But, we definitely, I think at least one person at least knows someone, even if it's just a social media colleague, you kind of know someone who has been hit by this virus. So it just made you want to be way more prayerful and way more appreciative of your life. There's some people who had no idea that the one day they went outside was the day they were going to catch this virus. So it just makes you want to be more prayerful and appreciative of everything that you have.
Well, thank you very much, Anto. All the best. Enjoy yourself today, even if we can't seem to get any of your feasting. And make sure you do stay safe, all right?
I can't wait.
All right. Thank you very much.